Hey, everybody. Hey, thank you so much for joining all of us here. I'm Jojo Alonso from 96.1 The Beat. Let me sit back like this so I can relax. And we're having a toast to moms, okay? Mother's Day is on Sunday. And me being a mother myself, I just wanted to bring women on a panel, women that I'm familiar with, successful women, successful black women, that we could sit and talk about the things that we encounter or the things that we may go through as being mothers and being mothers in the industry. So that being said, I'm gonna let everyone introduce themselves and say exactly what they have going on and what business venture, and let us know how many kids you have and their ages. Let's start over here with Mecca.
Okay, so I'm Mecca Day. I am an entrepreneur, gym owner of the Loft Athletic Club. And I have one daughter. She's 3. She'll be 4 in August. Her name is Makani. She's my everything.
Period.
My name is Amanda Reese. I am an event producer. I own my own business. I have one son. He's 15 months old, and I am still adjusting.
Hi guys, I'm Alexis Skyy, and I am a half owner of Rich Wealth Firm. I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I have a daughter who is 6 years old who also has special needs.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Rosalee Henry. I'm a 7-figure doula whisperer. I empower women in the birthing and the maternal health community to grow and scale their business. I have 4 kids, aged 37, 30, 23, and 18, and also 3 grandkids.
All right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Alandria. I am a digital marketer. I help small business owners and corporations expand their brand with strategic marketing campaigns. And I have a 21-year-old son.
All right, now make some noise for these beautiful mothers up here. All right, so before I get started, I do want to shout out our sponsors, Curl Days, Hollywood Beauty, Juve. That's where we are now. Thank you so much, Tasha. I know you somewhere back there working all the time. And Beauty Exchange Beauty Supplies. So thank you to the sponsors as well. Can we make some noise? Because this wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. All right. Also, my name is Jojo, and I have 2 kids. I have a daughter. She's 7. Her name is Armani. She just won 2nd in the state. Broke the record, okay? And then I have a young, small boy I just had. He'll be 5 months Saturday. Little TJ. He's just a little baby. Okay, so let's just jump right into it, okay? Because us as moms, there are a lot of things that we go through. There are a lot of things that we experience. There are a lot of feelings that we feel that I personally feel like that we have to mask a lot, especially being in the work field. And a lot of people don't really understand the things that we have to go through. So I feel like that this panel is very important because we have a voice as well, except sometimes we just don't like to use our voice because we try to be strong for the ones around us. So we're not about to be strong on this panel. So we about to just let it all out. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start it off and ask these questions. We'll go individually or however, we'll just flow with it. All right. How do you balance your professional career and your responsibilities as a mother? Who wants to start that off?
Okay. So I would say in the beginning it was super hard to find a balance, but I think once you find a balance and creating a schedule is super important, and it takes a village to raise. So I think the most important thing is having a support system, and a lot of people don't have that. So it's a little bit different for everybody, and financially some people can't afford daycare. So even if it's a close family member that you can trust, because nowadays you can't leave your kids with anybody, but somebody that you can trust and kind of just, creating a schedule. Okay, my kid is in school from this time or daycare from this time. I can work these hours. And then, okay, you're in bed by 7, 8 o'clock, and now it's mommy's time. A wine, bath, date night. It's all a balance. And, at the end of the day, we still got to work. But yeah. I think the key word is balance, and I finally am still working on balance now, but it's super, super hard. But once you get a hang of it, it kind of just becomes a flow. I have a full-time nanny, so it kind of, and this is my first time having one, so she has helped me tremendously, especially with my new business. It's just, trust me, a nanny definitely helps.
Yeah, and before someone else piggybacks off of that, I was going to say also, nannies are important, and a lot of people try to, downplay women who have nannies. Like, oh, you don't, no, we need help. Like she said, it takes a village, and sometimes people don't have that support. You know, I came down here with no family and a daughter. And I wish I could afford a nanny, Alexis. I wish I could, but we need that. We need that help. So.
I mean, I wish I could afford it too. I'm just kidding.
I know, for real.
I'm making it work, but at the end of the day, and I also have a special needs daughter, so it was a little bit harder for me because not everybody was gonna be, you know, receptive to Alea and certain behaviors and certain things. So I was, you know, thankful and grateful I did find somebody. So yeah.
Yeah, and to just piggyback off of what Alexis said, for me personally, my daughter's 3 now. I found that you're never really gonna find an equal balance. Me personally, you never find an equal balance. But I want to throw out the word prioritizing as well. Finding the things that you really, really prioritize, and really, really positioning people and things in order so that everything's aligned, so that you can make happen what you want to happen.
My son's 21, so I had
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. How do you prioritize?
We really just wake up and go with the flow.
Okay,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta do that.
I am blessed to have a community too. You know, my big thing is like I just don't trust everybody. We went through a night nurse situation and she was incredible, and I'm just like, I don't know if we can find a duplicate of that. So right now it's a little difficult for me. Fortunately, my clients and I have a good relationship. So I'm like, I really would only like to work these hours unless we hit like a certain snag. But I haven't figured out that balance yet, to be honest. We really just wake up and see what the vibe is. Like,
And I can agree with that because it definitely takes time. And you mentioned a night nurse, and night nurses and doulas, they are extremely important. And we actually have a doula, Rosalee. She is a doula, and I want you to explain, you know, how important it is for us women to have doulas.
It's very important for us women to have support. It doesn't matter if it's a doula, a nanny, a family member. I was blessed to have my mom around when I started my business, and I started from the bottom. I started in the caregiving field as a nanny. So power to, you know, you having a nanny and recognizing your nanny. But I also saw the need for having this support, and that's how I end up creating this village, because especially being in Atlanta is such a transitional city. A lot of people are not from here. So what do you do? And like you said, trust. It is so important to have someone in your network that you can trust. And like I said, I was blessed to have my mom around. She passed away a couple of years ago, and I miss her dearly. But if I didn't have her, I would not be able to scale the way I scale, grow the way I grew, because it was hard at first before I got her here. But thank God, after I got her here, I was able to grow and scale. Now I'm empowering other women to do the same. Back to how do you balance that life work balance? It's hard. It's very, very hard. And I like you know, I was saying to someone today on a panel that was on, don't believe everything that you see on social media. You know, it's not always like that. We have to kind of like step back sometimes. I'm like, okay, what's more important? What are we going to prioritize? You know, are we going to like, okay, we can only work this amount of hours today, we can only work this amount of hours tomorrow. And sometimes it's when you're an entrepreneur, it's different because everybody wants a piece of you. But how do you structure that balance? How do you structure that boundary?
And that being said, it's also sometimes I personally feel guilty sometimes as a mom, because I have to pay the bills. Like the kids got to go to daycare. Daycare is expensive. Daycare for a month is like $1,400 a month. But I gotta go to work. And sometimes I just feel super guilty because it's like I have to miss certain things that's going on in my daughter's life. Like I literally had to miss her like important things that she has going on. I miss that sometimes because I do have to work. So my question is how do you guys find a way to get over that guilt of actually trying to provide for your kids but still be there? And I'm gonna start off with you, Alandria.
Yeah, so with my son, I was a single mom as well. And it was really hard for me to trust anyone to watch him because I had lost 2 children previously. So when I had my son, that was like my miracle baby, I was super, super protective, you know, over him, but still having to work 2, sometimes 3 jobs, you know what I mean, just to be able to keep it going. But I will say, looking back, all of those different things that I had to do literally just fueled me even more, especially on the entrepreneurial journey, to know that, you know, the sacrifices I'm making today, they really are going to pay off. And like I said, now he's 21, but during, you know, in his younger years, I would you have to talk to him. It's like, you know, it's just us, right. You know what I mean? So it's like, I may not be able to come on this particular field trip, but I'm going to make sure I'm there on the next one. So I think that we don't think about communication because they are children, but they really do understand, you know, once you sit them down and talk with them. So I would recommend that, just really having even open communicational lines, even no matter how they, you know, once they're older enough to understand, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what about for the ones who have children who are like younger? Or I'll say Alexis and Mecca, because 6. How does
3?
3 and 6.
6, yeah.
Okay, so do they even understand when you're not home?
Well, right now I'm actually going through this. Like my best friend will tell you, because she's been with me for like a month. Like my daughter is going through like this change. She's having tantrums. She's, you know, being disobedient to the nanny, doing things, and she'll do it, you know, even to my best friend, like throwing stuff at her, like, because she wants me to come home. And I know it's that type, because when I'm home, nothing, not even a word. And it bothers me, because then she's like, Mommy, are you going to work? Like every time. And it's like, even if I'm not going to work, I just try to say I'm going to work. But, you know, it's like, I don't know what else to tell her, but she's getting it at this point. But it's hard for her right now because she just wants me there. But like you said, making the sacrifices. I'm a single mother, and she'll understand. Like growing up, my mom raised 4 of us by herself. So, you know, I want to be able to do the same thing. And growing up, I want her to know, like, I didn't just leave you. I was leaving you to make sure that I had a roof over our head, I could put clothes on you, pay the nanny, and make sure you're good. Because I don't want her to suffer ever in life. Right. You know, it's not fair. So,
yeah. Do you guys experience any of those?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like mom guilt is a real thing. I also feel like it's natural for us to, you know, feel like that. But you just got to have them pep talks with yourself, like, you know your why, and you got to just remind yourself why you're doing it, because like all of them said, at the end of the day, as they get older, they're gonna understand why. My daughter's 3, so she definitely is at an age where she asks me every time I'm getting ready to go to the gym to work and stuff like that. She always, Mommy, you going to work? You going to work? Why? So she definitely gets it. They get it very early. They watch everything. But you just gotta keep reminding yourself why. And your why.
And not feeling guilty.
One thing I always encourage my clients to do is to be present when you have the time. You know, so when you're home, carve that time out and just be present. Even if it's 1 hour per day that you can read to them, do whatever it is, and just put the phone away, just schedule that time, because they do need you. They still need us. And sometimes it's hard for them to understand, but when you're with them, just focus on them. Just give them that undivided attention.
And they show you that they really appreciate it. They be so happy when you are.
Yeah, my daughter be like, in the bed. She be like,
they be so happy when you are.
You have to sometimes get to their level, on the floor with them, you know, do whatever it is. Build Legos, dolls, dress up. Just be in that moment for them.
That's good. And that is true. And sometimes I be tired.
I know.
I be tired. She be like, Mommy, let's go to the park. Let's go swimming. I
have one question. For everybody. Do you guys ever, after leaving out, is that guilt on your like mind when you say, even if it was work or just going out somewhere, like, you know?
I'm always going
definitely
to work. Like when I'm not going
to work. So how do y'all deal with that? Like, you know?
I'm going to work.
I'm like one of the only I'm going to work.
Everything's an investment.
You gotta go to work.
Everything's work.
I'm like one of the only ones of my friends. I'm one of the few that have a daughter or a kid, period. So they know I'm the one that's like, all right, I'm gonna have to leave in a little bit, because at the end of the day, I'll be wanting to get back to her too, though. You know?
Again, I'm new here. I'm not handling it the best way. The first time I went out, y'all, I shorted the trip a whole day. My friends were like, where you at? I was like, at the airport. I gotta go home. Like, and I think now I'm getting better. Like, I'm looking like, where we at? But it's still like my time, like that clock go out and I'm like, I gotta get back home. But I was joking saying that it's an investment, but it kind of is, because like my well-being has to be taken care of too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm less frustrated when I can go out and like have fun, let off a little steam, than snapping at everybody's house. Like, so I'm with you, Alexis. I'm still trying to.
Yeah.
I'm new here.
Yeah, you in that stage.
So and it's like, okay, when you first, because Cash is 15 months. So I was there before.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Before.
Me too.
Okay, I got
Different
2 now, and Mama need time. And I'm gonna tell her that I'm going to work. Mommy, where you going? To work.
It's better when they're not talking right now, because when they start talking, that's like, listen, enjoy the 15 months now, because when
Right.
they get to like 3, 4, 5, and they start saying, "Mommy, where, why?"
Right.
That's when you start feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a little boy too. He gonna want to know where his mama going,
Child,
where
he's
you
giving
at,
that
what
now.
you doing, exactly. So to answer that, Mama need fun too, and Mama is going to work. That's all you need to know.
I know, that's my favorite word. Work. She's like, work, but work.
That's all I'm doing. But so there is another thing that I do want to talk about. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is the fact that, and this is just me being transparent. We have Monty Mills in the building. She is a radio personality as well. And so she might can understand where I'm coming from. Actually, just do a brief introduction and let people know what you do and how many kids you do have.
Hello, everyone. Everyone looks so beautiful. Nice to see you guys. I'm Monty Mills. I do radio in Nashville. I do middays. I'm also the music director, and I work for the Format Center, so I kind of fill in different locations on the weekends. I have 4 children. I just had a baby in November, so he's my youngest. He is 5 months, and then I have a 2-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, and I have a 13-year-old.
All right now.
So I got my hands full, y'all. I got my hands full.
Okay, a toast to moms, okay? So, to go back to the question I was going to ask, well, not the question, but the statement that I was going to say was, when I got pregnant with my son, a part of me was kind of embarrassed a little bit. I was embarrassed. I was a little nervous because my job is being in the media. My job is to be seen. My job is to hold up a certain image. And I honestly didn't know how things were going to work at my job. I was really terrified of that. And thank God I have an amazing team behind me at iHeart at 96.1 The Beat just got bigger. My boss, DJ Louis V, he was very like open, and he was happy for me. I was scared to tell him though that I was pregnant. I was nervous to tell him that. And I think that this is something that a lot of us women or mothers experience, because there's so many things that we have to, what is I'm looking for? We have to have a certain image, or we have to play the part. And it's like, oh, well, I can't do that right now because I'm trying to have this baby. And a lot of times people have to choose, like, am I either going to have a family or am I going to have a career? And one of my main goals in life is to have a family. Yeah, I want to have a career, but my family is before that. Honestly, that's just how I feel. So after I just said all those words, I know I'm talking a lot. I'm saying this to say, like, have you guys ever been in that position to where, I'm pregnant, I'm embarrassed, I'm scared, I don't know what's going to happen with my job, anybody?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it.
So I feel like this was aimed at me. I was not embarrassed, but I really was like, Lord, this is not the time. Like, please tell me this is a joke. And I am an event producer. I work with corporate clients. So when I am at work, not only am I physically in labor, but I am playing a part of this corporate shenanigan. Like, it is very much an on process. Like, it's some code switching happening in that midst. And a lot of times I am reminded that I'm the minority in the room. So being an unmarried pregnant woman, working, lifting on things, telling people where to go, it wasn't even, it was manifesting the fears that I had. There were people who were like, well, what's she doing? She pregnant. Like, or, you know, your baby's not here yet. Don't be barking orders at us. These were conversations that I had to have. And when I eventually came out, I did not show for the first 6 months of my pregnancy. And I didn't tell anybody. The only people who knew were my mom, my partner, and my closest friends. The announcement was the baby shower. People were like, who is this? Like, and I had an ally. My client, she was one of the 3 partners in the company. I told her, because we were working on a merger, and while my career is very important to me, now at that time, my career came before having a family. That was not my priority. I'm respectful of people's time, especially my clients that have been very good to me. And I came clean with her. I said, I'm pregnant. And we do a lot of things last minute. And I don't know if I'm going to be in the mental space to handle that in about 3 months. And she was like, what's very early on? I was like, no, girl. In 3 months. Like, we going to have another +1 to add. And she was very kind to me. She said, well, let's get through this merger, and then we will tell the partners that you're pregnant. Let's see how you feel once you get closer to that time. And so I was fortunate to be in that space. But I wore that for a long time. And I had my doula, I had a doula at a time, who encouraged me to say something because she did not want me to wear that stress. Mm-hmm. She said, you aren't aware that you are carrying the stress and your baby is gonna feel that. There is nothing to be ashamed or worry about. You can still handle it. And if they can't handle you handling it, then they're not the people that need to be around you in this moment. This is about you. And so it was community and based, but it was definitely fear that I wore.
Yeah. And what about you, Money? Because did you have kids prior to being on radio, or how did that work out?
Yes, so I did, my oldest. Okay. But when so they moved me, so I work for iHeart as well, and I started off in Columbia, South Carolina. They moved me to Nashville to do radio there. And so literally I got pregnant a couple months after I moved to Nashville, so I was real scared. I was like, oh my God, they're not gonna want me no more. You know, I felt the same way as you did. I was so nervous going into my boss because, like I said, all these things in my had already, I was supposed to go to the BET Awards. All of these things were in order, and you know, I was very nervous, like you said, but like both of you guys said, support and community is everything. My boss was very understanding, and it just felt like a weight was lifted. Even like my best friends, you know, because I'm nervous, and they're like, girl, what you nervous for? You know, this is a blessing. They just poured into me about how beautiful it was. I am with a good man, my husband, so all of that just made a difference in how it did, but I definitely felt nervous. And since then, it's been 3 more times. So every time, literally every time, I felt nervous. The second time, I was so nervous that I didn't share at all until I had the baby. And then the third time, I was like, you know what, y'all gonna get this. It is what it is. And, you know, I just feel like it's just about embracing who you are, what you want to be in this chapter. Like, this is me. I am, you know, I've evolved so much into the mother, the wife, and I love who I am. And it's like either you guys love this chapter of my life or you don't. And I feel like, you know, I'm able to connect a lot more with other women and moms because of that. So it's just about embracing it.
Okay. Anybody else want to go ahead?
So my story is a little different. I never wanted to have kids. So I was living like my dream life in LA. I was 21. I'm like, this was my dream. I finally made it here. It was my first year on TV. You know, I wanted to be an actress, and I don't know, God just redirected my life. You know what I mean? And the way I found out, I was really, really sick, and the doctor was like, you're positive. I'm like, positive. And he's like, you're pregnant. I'm like, because I had a period and everything. It was just a whole thing. So I don't know. At that moment, I had to pick and choose TV or being a mom. So I had to leave out of LA, live, you know, and it was hard for me because I had to move back to my mom's house. I'm like, how am I about to do this? Like, I'm 22, you know. So I was turning 22 at the time. So it was a little embarrassing, and I didn't really come out until like 3 months, and then I had my daughter at 5 months. So I really didn't even have a pregnancy. So it was just like a whole nightmare. But yeah, just my blessing. So
yeah, and we go through a lot. Like being pregnant, our bodies.
I don't know what it's like. That's the only thing. Like that's like like I never really got to experience like a full pregnancy. So like I found out when I was almost 2.5 months, 3 months, and then I had her at 24 weeks. So I don't really know what it's like to like be pregnant for real. I don't know how to.
Girl, you had a real blessing.
Yeah, like no, but my delivery was traumatic because I had like 7 blood transfusions. It was crazy, but. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. But then the postpartum came after. Like, usually, you know, for that whole 2 years, that's when I was just like, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and I was actually about to tap into that because, like, you say you don't know what it's like to be pregnant, but you in a way you do because you birthed the child.
Yeah, but the crazy I had a C-section too. Yeah, but I was under surgery. Yeah, and I woke up and I forgot that I had a baby. So it took me. They didn't let me see my daughter for 3 days because my memory was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So then everything started coming back, and then I'm like, my baby, and then so that's when everything started hitting me, and then I couldn't. She was in the NICU. Oh wow. So I couldn't touch her because she was only like 1 pound. So I didn't get to see her for like 3 weeks. Yeah.
You're a whole miracle.
That's thank you. Yeah. But my 6-year anniversary is on Sunday, so I got to take her home on Mother's Day. That was like the blessing. So
yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet. But like you saying that, it's so many stories like of just how powerful we are as mothers, and like granted, my story isn't like yours, but there is a time like my son, when I had him, I had to have him early, but I had him early because I had like some type of toxin in my blood. And I didn't know. I wouldn't have known if I didn't go get tested. But I woke up, my hands were itchy, and my feet were itchy. So when I woke up, I'm like, I'm gonna make some money today. Like, my hands are itchy. That's literally what I thought. And then I went to sleep, and then my feet started itching. I'm like, okay, something ain't right. Come to find out, I had some type of toxin in my blood that if I would have kept him in, he could have died. And I could have died. And I wouldn't have.
Liver, right?
I wouldn't even know. Yes, yeah. It was something with my liver, and it's like I had to go in for an emergency C-section. And when I had my daughter, I didn't experience that at all. I was running to the doctor trying to get them to take her out, like she in there too long type of thing. So like our bodies, we just go through so many things as women, and that's another thing that I wanted to touch on because our bodies do change. Our hormones change. We go through postpartum. That is a real thing. Yes. That is not something that we've made up, okay? People, that's like a chemical imbalance when women have children afterwards. That is a real thing. Has anybody at this table have went through postpartum?
Yeah, mine was double because for my first, like I said, for the first 2 times I got pregnant, I ended up losing those children because they were early. The first one was 24 weeks, and she lived for 15 days, and then she passed away. And then a year later, I had a baby like a week late after the anniversary of her passing, and I had, placenta abruption. And so that was at 20 weeks, so she was stillborn. So not only was I dealing with postpartum, but actual depression from having to, give birth and bury and do the whole, the whole 9. And I was just 16 years old doing all of that, So I dealt with depression for an extremely long time. I don't even know when the postpartum ended because it just kind of like all ran together, So it's really, depression is a lot.
Rosalee, I have a question. Do you help women who experience postpartum? Like, do you help them in that process?
Yeah, I help. I help in the sense that I refer them to someone who is trained, like a mental health specialist, because as a postpartum doula, you can say the wrong thing to a mom who's going through postpartum depression. And I just don't want to say just moms, to parents, because I've experienced where fathers have gone through postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Yes, it's real.
Yeah.
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 They do.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
No, they do.
Tell your story, babe.
Why?
Tell your story. 'Cause-
No, they don't.
Oh, you just know. You just know.
If you think about it, you know, a lot of men, or most men, or some men, don't have that father figure in their life, so they have never been through the whole the paternal
Abandonment, yeah.
experience. So now their partner now have a baby. They're no longer the center of attention, because men, they're needy. My husband sitting there, they know for sure they're needy.
I think like for me, it was for 2 years, and I don't think it never really like went away. And it, like I actually started growing to like, okay, I'm a mom. But for me, like my daughter was on oxygen. Like I'm so young. I'm like, this is my first kid. I'm like, God, like it was just too much. And then like one moment they said she wasn't breathing. It was just so much. And like dealing with somebody, like my daughter is literally like a walking testimony. But just just seeing the stages is like, you just got to give it to moms, because I know I'm not the only special needs mother out there. And I'm just telling you, it was like a nightmare. And I just, you know, it was hard. Like nights I couldn't sleep. You know, can't eat. You don't have the energy. You don't even have like the confidence anymore. And then for me, it was scary because like I haven't had another kid, and I do want to, but I'm so nervous and scared. But I don't want to like live in fear of that. And so,
Explain. You had 2 children, and you lost 2 children.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had a healthy. So you have any advice you want to give
Yeah.
Alexis?
Did they tell you why you had her?
stress. Yeah, I had stress, like literally, because when you know the test that you take before Alea passed everything, and it was literally I was already depressed going into pregnancy. I think because of like my life changes and like my relationship stuff, and she just came early, but that was really it.
Well, that's good. Like for me, I have
My
incompetent cervix.
my sac ruptured. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they told me I have an incompetent cervix, so it opens up early, like I can't carry full term. So for my son, I ended up having to have a procedure where they actually would stitch up your cervix. So I did that at like 16 weeks, had to be on bed rest the entire time. And then I still ended up having him at 32 weeks. So he was in the NICU for 2 weeks. He was like 4 pounds and something. And then he came home 2 weeks later. So that's why I haven't done it again, because but I had a very traumatic situation through all 3. But for you, if it was just a matter of stress, then that's something that you can, easily manage. But I do still get the fear for sure.
Yeah, I've been expecting, like I'm able to carry and stuff like that, but it's more so in the mind.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, go ahead.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and that's very important to acknowledge what you're going through. Maybe talking to a therapist, see how you can work through that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you want a family,
Yeah.
or do you want a family? If that's what you want.
Yeah.
And they do take on that stress. You have experienced it where the things that you're going through, the baby picked up on it.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I think that too, when we talk about postpartum, it looks different for everybody.
Yeah,
I feel like
for sure.
sometimes people think, I see a lot of stuff on social media where they say, okay, I don't hate my kids. I don't hate being a mom. So this is not postpartum. But that doesn't, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just so much, it's just different for everybody. And speaking on the mental health part, I recently started mental health coaching. I didn't know it was a difference between, I guess therapy and coaching.
Yes.
Learn something new every day.
Yes.
But I started coaching like about a month ago. And when I say I'm such an advocate for it, because I am literally able, as a mom of 4, just to coach me through my days every day. It's just really been a blessing. So like, I always like to just share my testimony of just how helpful it has been for me in my journey and navigating through postpartum. Because like I said, I've had kids every other year since 2019. So I mentally, physically, emotionally, and even to piggyback off of just your spouse, your partner, like I'm changing. And so he's having to deal with my changes. He's having to adapt to being a father of, all of these kids as well. So I can see how it takes a mental toll on the whole house. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
No, I'm done.
Did you get them tubes out is the question.
I didn't go through postpartum. I think I had prepartum. I grieved the life I was leaving behind. I too was in LA. I was like living my best life. I was producing all the things. I was on my own time. I liked him, but I wasn't locked in.
Okay, hello.
You know, he was cute, but like I was enjoying where I was.
You're right.
And when that hit, like I said, being a mom was not a priority for me. So I took that hard. Like I remember, kind of like Alexis said, I thought I had a hernia. I was like, what is this pain I'm feeling? Like, I'm about to be on the road for 2 weeks for work. Let me go check this out, because we about to be in Vegas. I need to be ready to go. And my doctor came in like, congratulations. Like, okay. And,
me like, huh?
and I was like, because we found the root of the problem. Like, and we did. And not only
The problem.
not only, and like tears are streaming down my eyes. Like I'm on my phone making plans, and tears are streaming down my eyes. And the first thing he said was, "Are you supportive?" To this day, I'm very grateful for this man, because at the same time, Roe v. Wade was being overturned. So not only am I like starting the process of grieving who I used to be, but I'm in this space where so many women are being forced into a decision that they don't want to make. Now, I can't say that I was in a position to be like, I don't want my baby. I want to terminate this pregnancy. I don't think that was ever for me, but I respect that choice. And immediately I went to a place that, well, I wouldn't even have this decision to make. Like it's made for me. And so all of that happening at one time was just like, ugh. I also initially, and this is me being very transparent, I was pregnant with twins initially. So I'm like, there's two. Okay, okay, we're gonna do this. Like I go into like project management mode, and then I'm going through this grieving process, but I'm like, okay, this is what we gotta do. And then I find out around week 18 that one of them is not gonna make it to term. So now I'm grieving, but celebrating, but not knowing how my body is gonna choose to get rid of this child. And if somebody gonna come knock on my door to lock me up, because I wanna make a safe choice for me. So I went through a very dark time, because WTF, like this is not even really what I signed up for. I had my cycle, I had taken a contraceptive, and like we just had not planned for this. And so I felt alone. I had people pouring into me, and I know who I am of myself. I'm very confident, but there's a hormone imbalance taking place. I don't know what is gonna happen, and everyone is telling me it's gonna click, it's gonna click. I'm not feeling like a mom. Like I'm just big. Like I don't feel this attachment that everyone, I'm not excited about a nursery. I'm not picking out colors. I'm not picking out names. Like I don't want no parts of this. And like it really didn't, it didn't really start to unfold for me until very late in my pregnancy. Like, and I still think about who I was at that time, because I was unrecognizable to myself. And so I think my doula was the one to tell me about prepartum. Like that does happen. And so when my son, who is my world now, got here, my purpose started to realign. Even how I started to handle business shifted. But prepartum almost took your girl out.
Hello?
I'm telling you.
I had it too. I ain't gonna lie. Now that you said it's a thing,
Yeah.
I definitely had it. But is it crazy how like we sit here and we like, yeah, I was just so scared. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I was just like, no. And then we had the baby. We was like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, look at that. For some.
For some. But for me, I was.
some.
Well, it took a little minute at first. When I had my first one, I had to slowly get into the groove. But yeah, cause it's a lot. Women, well, mothers, we go through a lot. We go through a lot of changes. Our body go through a lot of changes. And we have to make a lot of changes. And most of the time, the decisions that we make are based off of our kids, based off of our family. Like, a lot of decisions we don't make for ourselves. And we usually put ourselves last. We don't even put ourselves first. And we get so tired, and we just got so much other things going on, and we need to take time for ourselves. So, how do you guys make time for yourself? Now, I'll start it off and say, I can honestly say I don't make time for myself. My time for myself is when I put the kids down and I have that like little hour of me being in the bed before I fall asleep. Like that's the time that I have for myself. And I need to make more, but that's just me being honest. But
I can go with that. I'm guilty of that too. A lot of time, if my husband don't remind me that I need to eat, I don't remember to even eat. And it's not good. And I'm trying to empower other people not to do it, other women not to do it, but it's hard. Yeah. You know, it's hard being an entrepreneur. It's hard running a business. It's hard having staff, having a team. Being a leader is hard. Mm-hmm. But it's also hard to even find time to take care of yourself, which I'm learning now to make myself a priority and self-care and do for myself. My 4 kids, I have one who's going to graduate law school next week.
All right,
one
now.
going to graduate high school. And I've done so much for my family. I have my daughter at 17 years old, and I've been taking care of people all my life.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now where I'm like, you know what? It's my time now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mecca, what do you do for self-care?
So I was actually going to piggyback off of that last question that you had. It's like we were somebody before we had like the title of like mom and stuff. Like there were things that we enjoyed, things that brought us peace, things that, you know, we did that we didn't have to think about somebody else before we did. So those are the conversations I kind of have with myself now, is like what makes me feel like me outside of being a mom or like gym owner or, you know, all these other titles that I have, like me. And I just go back to the things that make me happy and feel good, and that's just working out, eating good, eating clean, you know, and taking care of me. So I literally do stuff like I have to get up at like 3:30 in the morning to go work out, to make sure that I get that in. Get up at 3:30 in the morning, leave the house by 4:30 so I can be at the gym by 5, get my workout in so that I can be back at the house. So my significant other can go to work. You know, we be having a tag team like that. But I know that that's just what I have to do if I want to make that time for myself. And it goes back to, you know, what I said in the beginning, just finding the things that you prioritize. Yeah, and that's something that I know makes me feel like me. You know, before I get up and cater to other people, I start training or doing other things. Like I want to get up and the first thing I do is something for me.
That's good.
I love
You
that.
know?
I love that too.
I need to try to do that. But I love to. I want to travel though.
It takes a second as
That's
far
what make
as
me
like
happy.
waking up early and
Do
stuff.
it.
Like it's hard. But
Without the kids. I'm trying to travel. Leave the kids
I
at the
feel-
house.
I feel like I'm very intentional, especially since I started my coaching. That's like the main thing that I feel like I realized with that is that I needed to do more for me. So I'm just very intentional, and I'm not too hard on myself about I'm trying to get to the scheduling. I'm trying. But I'm like, as long as I do something, because the point of it is, how do you feel after you do something for you? You feel good, right? When I go and I work out, or, you know, if I go get my hair done, get my nails, I feel good. So that's my focus. It's like I want to still be able to feel good. So I want to be intentional about those things that, you know, make me feel good. So
because at the same time, when you look good, you feel good, you're
Yeah.
going to be able to do more for your kids as well.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's important. That's a real thing. Because I be out here looking crazy.
no, you don't. No, you don't.
No, I really do for real,
No,
for
you
real,
don't.
for real, for real. I be out here looking crazy. But then when I go to that salon, babe, I go get them nails done, I be like, then I be in the house, feet kicked up, like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm bad. Ain't going nowhere. But I feel good, though. And
Yeah.
that's important.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like another example of that, like I told you, I was like, everything that literally could have went wrong today, it did. But I feel like, you know, I feel like it was the devil's plan for me to say, you know what, I give up, I'm not going to make it, whatever. I said, no, this is something I feel like it's purposeful for me to be here. I really was looking forward to this day. This is for me. I'm going to show up regardless.
Hello.
Okay, so I just feel like you have to be very, very intentional. And like, you know, it don't matter what else is going on. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to be present. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I just travel.
That's what I'm trying to
So
do.
for me, I know like water plays a big part of like my peace. I'm a Cancer, so I have to be by water to like regroup, and I don't care if it's to Miami. I'm like, listen, mom, grandma, like that's what I said. I'm very thankful that I have a village. My family is from the island, so you know how that goes. I come from like a Jamaican background. No, bro, I come from a Jamaican background. So at the end of the day, they listen. Let me give you $500 a weekend. So you know, taking trips is my peace of mind. So I just try to do it to where like, all right, I'm gonna just go from Friday to Monday, be back, and finish off my week. So I try to do that at least like once a month.
Okay.
And I'm cool with
Do you
that.
ever travel with her?
So yes, I took her to LA, but because she has hydrocephalus, which is like the pressure on her brain, I have her passport.
I know.
I'm just scared because if something happens out the country, I don't want nobody taking care of her, you know.
Right.
So I'm gonna do it though. I told myself when she got out of school, I might take her somewhere to maybe to the Bahamas, just a quick little flight. But I went and got her passport, so I want to.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That is
I
exciting.
love that. That was my thing. I'm a traveler too, and I didn't want to lose that part of me when I had my son. So my mom almost had a heart attack, but at 6 months, Cash and I were in Rome. I was like, I'm out of here.
Period. Okay. I love that. At least you can say in 6 months I was in Rome.
Right. That was his first stamp. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
What kind of the taxes? I was like, this is a ticket. Like, it's a scam, but a different way. But that's my thing. I like to travel. I try to do something once a month. And if I know I can't do that, because now that I am getting back in work, I dedicate at least 20 minutes when I open my eyes to either meditation or prayer. Like, that is my time. Before anybody is up, the house is still quiet. Usually it's still dark outside. But that's when I center myself and focus. That's just about me and God. And, like, if I know if I could start my day like that, then I could be prepared for mentally what comes. Like, because I put him first. I love the gym, too. Usually Cash is with me. Cash go everywhere I go. I'm surprised he's not here.
No, seriously. Me too.
So he's in the gym with me. I don't usually get a good workout in because I'm playing with him. Like, that's our time. I keep him busy.
You're a boy mom.
Right. I look. But the morning, I dedicate that time for me, God, and meditation. And so that's how I make sure to get my self-care in. If my mind is right, I'm good.
And I guess that's what makes a lot of women scared when they get pregnant. They think that
Their life is
like
over.
everything that you enjoy has to just stop.
Right.
And it's like you can still do the things that you maybe might look a little different,
harder.
but
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, it just stopped. It stops with that. It
And it
just
definitely
stops.
depends on your support.
Yeah.
Because then you have the friends like, girl, you trying to come out tonight? I'm like,
Stop calling me. I'm not meeting you at 404, Lauren.
the support is definitely a huge
Yeah, no, you
thing.
have to. You
gotta
gotta
have
support.
You have to have the
For
village.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I wrap things up, is there anything that you guys might want to say? I don't know, maybe like a quote that you live your life based off of, a scripture or anything like that. I'll start it off. I live my life based off of the scripture, walk by faith, not by sight. So
Yeah, mine is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding.
That's mine.
In
That's
all
mine.
your ways,
Yeah.
acknowledge Him.
Yeah.
And He will lead you. Yeah.
Well, for me, always say serve first and the money will come after.
hello,
That's
that's a good one. You got one? Okay.
My mom always told me the only thing consistent in life is change. And so you have to be ready to adapt. And move.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific one, but just continue loving on yourself, love yourself, or nobody else will.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day got to end. So, you know.
the day gotta end.
I agree.
So, and then I don't know. I guess you guys can drop your social media handles so everybody can follow y'all if y'all want to do that. Y'all want to do that? Okay, go ahead.
All right. Alandria_L on Instagram.
And for me, I'm going to give a number, and you can text doula to 770-706-3905.
Hello.
Doula, DOULA.
Mine's Alexis Skyy, no underscore.
I'm the THEE Amanda Cherie CHERI.
I am _ Mecca with 3 C's, MECCCA, and then or you can go to ohmy.glutes, oh my glutes.
I am Monty Mills, MANIMILLS. I started a family page though at the top of this year, y'all. It's real cute. The Kyler family, THECUYLER family. Anyways, it's just support my little, it's a little thing that I've been trying to do to get my kids
Love it.
some opportunities. I got
that.
4 of them, so.
Right, no, for real.
But yeah.
But I do want to thank everybody who came out. And before I hand it over to Londyn Richie, she's going to do some special remarks from the Rich Wealth Firm, okay? Before I hand it over to her, I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up for all of us. I want to say thank you to the panelists who came up here, and you guys were very transparent. I really do appreciate that as well. I want to say shout outs to all the mothers that are out there. Shout out to the people who are grieving, losing their mothers, for the women who are the mothers who are grieving their children. You are important, and we love you all. And I hope you guys be safe. Don't leave, because we do have special remarks by Londyn Richie. But I just want you guys to give a hand for everybody in the room.
And can I say something really quick? So I'm going to officially announce it tomorrow, but me and my son are actually launching a business. So it's a staffing agency. So if there's anyone looking for any work at home opportunities, hit me up.
Okay, I know that's right.
Congratulations.
Hello,
Everybody trying to work
that's
from home,
dope. So, everybody make some noise for Londyn Richie. She's finna come up here right now. Londyn Richie and Alexis Skyy actually have a business together, the Rich Wealth Firm, correct? Yes. Okay, and I want you to explain, what it is, what you have going on, and talk to the people, because you guys have amazing things going on right now. Yes. Yeah, she gonna talk.
Okay, first of all, before I start, can we give it up for all of these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moms and their vulnerability and their transparency, because you guys inspired me so much from the other side. Can I be honest with y'all? Y'all did, girl. Because I'm going through some traumatic things myself in my life. I don't have kids. And I heard you mention, like, I'm all about my work and my business and my brand. And I just realized how important it is to become a mom. Do we have any moms in the room tonight? If you guys are a mom, if you're a single mom, if you have a support system, but if you just have children, can you clap for yourself real quick? Can we clap for all the moms in the building? Being a mom is super important, and I never realized that until, the doctors told me that there's a possibility that I might not be able to have a child, and I realized, like, damn, I'm engaged. I do want to be a mom. I do have the desires to be a mom. So just to hear your stories, I just want to send y'all so much love and, support from the other side, because it takes a village to raise a child, and it just takes so much strength to make that decision to push forward to be a mom. So I salute y'all, and I send y'all much love and resources. And that is one of the reasons why we started the Rich Wealth Firm with my partner, who is a mom as well, because we want to be a resource to moms. And just hearing you guys, I had something totally different to say, but y'all changed my entire perspective of what I even thought motherhood was, even, like, seriously. But what I want to say is that no matter what your situation is, there's always support. Just like you have a support group and resources. Like, we be sleeping on Facebook, but Facebook have so many, like, women support groups, mom support groups, and don't ever feel ashamed or embarrassed to tap into those. Connect with her and her resources and her support group. There's moms up here that are telling you guys, we're CEOs, we're bosses, but we're new moms. Like, reach out to them, connect with them, because it takes your village, and you guys should definitely be in proximity of people that share your story, and I 100% encourage that. And at the Rich Wealth Firm, we do have resources for you. One of the things I'll say, growing up with a single mom who worked 16 hours a day, who didn't have the time for me, it affected me. Not only did it make me work harder, but it also just, created that sadness of feeling like I didn't have a support, or I wasn't heard, or I didn't have nobody to come to my games or things like that. So we do want to have a life too, and I 100% encourage it, but do find the balance to pay attention to your kids, because it genuinely matters. And one of the things that do matters is setting up a foundation so that you could live a life of
ease where you don't have to stress so much, or you don't have to figure out like, I got to work my 9 to 5. I have to live paycheck to paycheck because I have to provide for my children. Because one of the things that we do at the Rich Work Firm is help people fix their credit, build business credit, build business foundations to get funding so that you can invest. Even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, just being able to leverage other people's money and invest into a real estate portfolio that brings you an additional source of income where you could take some paid days off of work, or you might go from full-time to part-time because you're now tapping into resources. And I see a lot of us are very from a familiar descent in this room, and coming from the communities that we come from, we are not privy to the resources that are available to us. They don't teach us this. They tell us that debt is a bad thing and that credit is terrible. You know, we shouldn't be using credit. You should work for your money. You should go to college and get an education. And some of us may have those opportunities and others may not. I just want to let you guys know that credit is a key that unlocks every door that you think is closed to you. So meanwhile, we're all ignoring our credit and we're trying to figure out, we got to hustle. We got to go to our jobs. I got to get this money by tomorrow. Realistically, a job is just to keep you above broke. So we have to really, really step outside ourselves and really build that foundation so where we can literally, you know, build a wealth pool for our children. Start thinking about, what could I leave behind? If I left this earth today or tomorrow, do I have life insurance policy set up so my kids can carry on, so that I'm not continuously repeating the cycles of generational wealth? Is my credit good to where my kid want to go to college at 18 and I can provide them a car and no money down, and you know, I can help them pay the note, or you know, I can provide college fund for them where they don't have to pull out all these student loans and they get a second chance at life. So we teach you how to build the 5 steps to success, which is going to be your credit, having a fully structured business, accessing funding to invest, to create cash flow. When you have more cash flow, you have more time, you have more freedom to actually be an active mom. And I'm not badgering you for not knowing this, because they'll never teach us this stuff, especially from the communities that it look like we all come from, the race that we all can agree we are in this room. We don't have access to that information. So I made it our duty, my partner and I made it our duty to access this information, to set up things. So when she says she has a nanny, it's not all glitter as gold, but it's a lot more than the other person may have, because we're able to tap into these resources where we can leverage the bank's money. Do y'all know the banks have trillions of dollars? When you put your money in the bank has now lent it to her. So now when she got good credit, she's going to the bank and she's spending your money. Even though your account say is in there, baby, the bank is circulating the money amongst the community and its members that they're lending it to. So why not get a share of that? So we have the Rich Wealth Firm. V, can you pass me my phone? I want to airdrop our link. We have free consultations and we have resources for moms. Like, we're here. We right in Midtown 14th Street. We have our own physical location. We also provide grants for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a single mom, a dad, business entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs. It don't matter what walk of life you're from. We have the resources and the tools for you. As a licensed realtor, I want to help you guys build a wealth portfolio as far as investing. If you're not a homeowner, why we can't help you become a first-time homeowner so that you can actually be able to pass something down, a generational asset that you can pass down to your children, or build an investment portfolio. I've been able to retire my mom off just investments in real estate, and I didn't use none of my money. I used the bank's money. So, and it's nothing special about me. I come from the hood, Section 8. We come from humble, you know, God. But the things that's special about us is that God chose us for the anointing and the position to build something as far as the Rich Wealth Firm. But it's for us to share and be a resource to women and men just like you all. So we want to help you. We do free consultations. So we want to do a consultation with everybody in here, no matter what you have going on. We just want to multiply it and see how we can be an asset to what you have going on, so you can get the resources and the tools that you need to become who it is that you desire to be. So no matter if you're a mom or desiring to be a mom, or whatever walk of life you're traveling from, you know, it's not over, and you can be whoever it is that you desire to be. And it can be easier than you possibly think it could be. And it all starts with your credit. It's going to unlock every door that you ever thought was closed for you. That money that you don't have for that business, that money you don't have for that nanny, that money you don't have to do a self-care day. hey, I'm not privy to say leverage the bank money for a self-care day, but you got to do what you got to do, okay? So I want to show you guys how to leverage at a 0% interest rate where you can go borrow somebody else's money and build your own personal wealth pool without having to figure out how to get this from my job. Because realistically, as we all didn't work the job before, right? Some of us are still working our jobs, and we all know your boss is never going to pay you enough to be the boss. So you have to step up and figure out how can I leverage my resources and my tools to become the boss. And that's what we do at the Rich Wealth Firm. That's what Alexis and I do. And we want to be that resource, that light, and that tool for y'all. But I love you guys. If everybody turns on their AirDrop, or we'll be in the back to connect with you guys, we do want to share our website. Free consultations. You guys can come in the firm. It's so luxurious, nice. And we leverage OPM to do this. We worked really hard on this. But it's a resource center for the community. And we just want to be that light. We'll even do a therapy session, girl. We can talk about it over coffee and talk about your resources. We're on 14th Street, 14th and State Street, right across from Toast Midtown. We can give you the address, and I'm gonna also provide the link for everybody in this room where you can book a consultation. Alexis and I are there 6 days a week. We're doing the consultations ourselves with our staff, so we'll love to support you and help you build, because community is everything. The same way it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to become a 7-figure entrepreneur, a 6-figure entrepreneur, or even a successful CEO. So we want to connect with you guys. I know she said she has a staffing agency. We are hiring, so let's connect. If anybody want to grow and build with us, we are open to grow and build with you guys. We want to build with y'all. I love y'all. I just am so like filled with like the spirit and the energy of the strength that you guys like hold as being a mom. I can't relate. Well, I'm kind of like a mom because I take care of my family, but I never had my own children, so I can't even relate. But any way that I can help anybody in this room, whether you are mom, don't matter what you got going on, if I can help you, that's what God ordained me to do, and our doors are open to help you. So I wish everybody in here the unlimited blessings and success and abundance. And I pray that God expand everybody's territory, and whatever it is that you want, I know that God has the power to enlarge that and increase that. So whatever you want, you can have. Just leverage your resources. I pray that everybody in here has the most abundant 2024 and beyond. I pray blessings over your life, over your mind, over your health, over your spirit, over your just anything that you can think of. And whatever you're going through, just understand you're not alone in a fight, in a journey, and you don't have to look like what you're going through. So push on, persevere on. I love you. You are loved. You are supported, and our doors are open to show you that. So many blessings to everybody. We love you.
Thanks, girl. I need help. I'm going to come to y'all. Come fix my credit. All right, guys. It's Jojo Alonso from 96.1 The Beat for A Toast to Moms, and we're out.